Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world, and welcome to the Translation Esports Tier 1 No Assist coverage here from Baku. I am Stuart, joining you today. And just a second here, folks, just letting them know that we're good to ready up. But we join ourselves here today in Baku, and my oh my, what a little run that we are on here in this series, as it is pretty incredible how all these street circuits seem to find themselves together over the course of the season. A nice long 22 race calendar. But yet, we find ourselves going here to two of the tightest, perhaps, circuits on the entire calendar, having recently last week gone to Monaco, and this week we are in Baku. But regardless, it is here we are, and should be a good one here this afternoon. Just double checking on a few more drivers to see if they are going to turn up for this one. Currently 14 drivers are set to contend in today's race, but we'll see if maybe, I believe there was one or two more that were awaiting an invite, so we will see how that goes. In the meantime, while we are waiting for all of these drivers to ready up, I am going to run you through the championship standings here, and it's one that is not particularly close right now. Currently in first place, we have the Andrew Lee LR Amazing Hour in the Williams, currently with 147 points. In second place, Josh Banks with 110 in the McLaren. Is a fair distance back from him, 38 points behind Josh to be exact, as he has 72 points and finds himself in third. With 66 points, Albert Ramirez Garcia in the Ferrari. In the Haas, Michael Rowan Jr. finds himself in fifth place with 53 points. In sixth, Mackenzie Stewart in the McLaren with 47 points. Andrew Honda in the Red Bull with 22 points. Faith Caraca in the Renault with 20 points. Ethan Lossing in ninth place with 12 points. And rounding out the top 10, Quinlan Maitland, who is, I believe he is no longer contesting the series. I believe he did... he will not be racing with us anymore, but he currently has 10 points. Zach Hochmeyer in the other Renault is in 11th with 8 points, as is Steen. Again, my apologies if I am not pronouncing your name correctly, but he is Dutch, so I do believe that it is pronounced somewhere in that range. Ken Doyle in the Mercedes with 7 points in 13th. Daniel Hernandez in the second Haas with 5 points in 14th. Jonathan Lozis with 4 points in 15th. Brett Keenan currently in 16th place. Of course, he is one of the drivers who just recently joined the Tier 1 boys. He's in 16th and 17th. Tyler Beasley in the Williams, and Harold Lillis is in 18th place with 0 points. The two racing point drivers are to be confirmed, but we're going to have 14 drivers here contesting today. On the constructors' standpoint, it's a much tighter race. McLaren with 157 points, Williams with 147 in second. Bit of a gap back to Ferrari in third with 78 points. Alfa Romeo in fourth with 75. AlphaTauri in fifth with 66 points, followed by Haas in sixth with 60 points. Mercedes in seventh with 45. Red Bull Racing in eighth with 32 points. Renault in ninth with 28 points, and the driverless Racing Point team with 19 points. So they have moved on from copying the Mercedes car, and they are working on an autonomous car program now. So see where they go with that. Of course, they're not actually working on that, but Let me just pull this back up here. Oh, hello, Rain. I wonder what the rest of the session is going to look like. It looks like it's pretty light, and it looks like the sun might be peeking through very soon. So if that is the case, then everybody better buckle up and be listening to get ready for me to talk here about something for a couple minutes here, as I actually do believe that's going to be the case. I mean, I'm no weatherman, and for anybody that keeps an eye on some of the other or the other region, some of the regional racing, I should say. Ooh, we do have a car coming out. Goody goody. We did have rain in the Monday night U.S. regional, where Michael Garone Jr. and Zach Dillegaff contested that. So we'll see. We'll see if any of those lessons learned here today, if they're able to translate those, or what we're in for here today around this Baku track. I know I'm just coming off of a race here, one that was a little bit interesting, but I do know that one of the things that I was really hoping wasn't going to wasn't going to be present in the race was rain. So, I mean, that's a bullet dodge for me, not so much for these guys. But like I mean, these guys are going out on the softs, so everybody is. So it's very light rain. Although it's enough to affect traction for these guys. Of course, all of these drivers are running absolutely no assists, with the exception of Racing Line. Actually, only some of the drivers do use Racing Line. I know there are some that do not use it. But I'm just checking the YouTube comments. I see Steen, he mentioned, I almost got his name right. Almost. You know what? Maybe I'll have to get the proper pronunciation from you, and so I can do your name justice here on the stream, or in the comm box here. Of course, if there is anybody that I am butchering their name, feel free to fire me a message in Discord. That is Disco Stubert, and I'd be more than happy to ensure that your name is pronounced right from here on out. Interesting, Harry coming back into the pits. I wonder if he did get some wing damage on that, so he's not going to be the first driver to contest. That is going to be actually Albert Ramirez Garcia here, Kushthor, as he'll be the first driver to make a lap of this track. He does have Ken Doyle right behind him. Interesting that these guys are quite close together. Now Baku is a track. It's one that you need to. Whoa! Oh! Uh-oh! Mr. Albert, he does not. He's gonna back it into the. No damage, so he escapes without damage, but not ideal. Just overshot. I don't even know what turn that was. That had to be turn 4, 5 maybe? I believe it was 4. Here's Ken Doyle though. He makes his way through the castle section, which on a good day is hard to get through. Never mind in the rain. That's just an absolute nightmare. Actually, there was quite the number of accidents in the Tier 1 Tier 1 assist. As Ken gets into the wall, but it looks like he avoids damage. There was quite a number of incidents through the castle section, number of drivers looping around, and it almost completely blocked the castle section, which was terrifying to drive into, not knowing what you were driving into, but castle section's always going to catch some people, as we see here Ken making his way through the final sector down this long straightaway. Well, I guess technically including the S's. It is just taken all flat out as Ken does a 152.622. We will keep an eye on that and see how that holds up. Meanwhile, we are going to look at Mr. Andrew. he is on a flying lap, but not gonna finish that one. Looks like we have a Renault that's about to cross the line. Oh, that is Faith. He's on an out lap. But we've had lots of really good racing here in this series so far this year. Of course, this is sort of the this would be the pinnacle of the Transnation eSports in the sense this is the best of the best. These guys aren't using assists. These guys are the fastest guys on the grid without a doubt. And as we actually see Michael Garone Jr. go to the top, a 150.7. So something that we saw, he actually bests Andrew Lee by well over about a second and a half. So a very nice lap there for Mike as he made his way around this this Azerbaijan circuit with ease. Of course, Mike, he did take the pole in the rain in the U.S. Regional Series, which had, of course, the rainy qualifying on Monday night. And he was an absolute, I don't even know, a rocket in the rain. It was like... It was almost like he wasn't racing in the rain and everybody else was racing in the rain. That's how good he looked on Monday. So I wonder if that's going to translate over here to Nationals, especially if we're going to see a little bit of rain to start this race. Although, based off of what we're seeing on screen, it's trickling down consistently, but it's not really going that hard. So we'll see what these guys, what these drivers do. Is everybody's just waiting in the pits, so that kind of tells me that, you know, it's probably going to completely dry up as it has almost completely stopped raining. We're on board with Sheen right now. He crosses the line. He goes fastest with a 150.6. So he bests Michael's time by a tenth of a second. Nice run there for the Dutch driver. But yeah, not many drivers out on track. Daniel Hernandez is on an out lap. I wonder if we have a weather report, maybe in the Discord, that I can gather up. I don't really think there's anything. No, nothing for me to report. So no idea what the weather is going to be going into this, but regardless, it's okay. It is stopped raining completely, so we have 10 minutes remaining in this session. It is going to dry out completely before the end of this. So that means the second half of this session is going to be a mad dash. And this is a track where it's so easy to stick it, rub yourself against the wall on an out lap or something, break an end plate off, and if you do that in this situation, you may have two opportunities to get a good lap in here in qualifying. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. There's a lot of pressure that's going to be on these drivers to make sure they put down a good lap here at the end of this qualifying session as things dry up. Now, thank you to Ken Doyle, who has let me know that there is rain forecast at the end of the race. So if there's anything in my experience with these F1 games, is that the rain always comes a little bit earlier than what they might initially think. So if I were a betting man, I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe saw some rain here, you know, like halfway point of this race or something. So we do have drivers on outlaps right now. We have both the Renault boys, that is Faith and Zach. They are both out on outlaps. Of course, they've yet to set a flying lap. Only 4 drivers have posted a time here, but those are they're sure to get blown away as the track dries up. So we will see what these drivers can really do around this circuit now, and you know, maybe we'll see some action at the end of the race here. Get some more rain, get some mayhem going. We'll see on that front. But regardless, here we are now, and Faith is going to be the first driver to set a flying lap. Actually, I'm wrong on that. It is Daniel Hernandez who's going to be the first driver to set a flying lap in the no longer raining state of this track. I don't think it's going to be up to full speed yet as he makes his way through the castle section. Definitely one of the... There's a very good argument to be made for that section being the hardest section on the entire calendar. You look at other difficult corners. You can look at sort of the swimming pool in Monaco. It's a very tricky one. Lots of the corners in Monaco are actually very hard, and would probably be in that running. But you look at the castle section here, and when you're going into that sort of initial turn 8, turn 9, turn 10, there's actually like 4 corners in that, but they're all little little dog legs almost. They're hardly corners. You go into that section, and if you miss your braking point going into turn 8 and you overshoot it, you're toast. You're toast. As Daniel Hernandez goes to the top of the 141.0, so a little bit slower than what we're probably going to see towards the end of the session, but Daniel does have plenty of time to hop into the pits and slap on a new set of tires for a run at the end of it here. Yeah, it's, you know, the track's just going to continue to dry at the end of the session. I don't know if it's going to get to ideal conditions. Because I would imagine that it's a little bit chilly, as Faith goes second fastest with 141.5, as the drivers are pouring out of the pits now, and onto the track as Mackenzie is about to set his first flying lap. What's he going to do? He comes down the front straight away. Needs to beat a 141 flat. And he does. A 139.2 for Mackenzie puts him to the top of the board. We have an AlphaTauri about to come across to start their lap. Next driver across the board. Oh, as we see Zach, Mr. Adilagaf, go fastest with 139.1. Nice qualifying effort for him. We have Honda about to cross the finish line. That's Andrew, of course. What's he going to do? He crosses the line, and he is going to jump to P2, a 139.2. Very nice run for him as well. A Ferrari just crossed to start their flying lap. Who else do we have? We have the 2 Haas boys. They are coming down. Michael invalidated. Daniel Hernandez in front of him, just getting out of his way. Probably coming into the pits here momentarily. But Michael did invalidate his time. He's going to cross the line, though. A 139.3 was what he did. So that would have put him about 5th fastest or so. Ooh, hello. So Josh Banks initially went fastest with a 138.7, but then Harry Lillis blew it away, a 138.539. Puts him to the top of the board. So let's look out for, where is our championship points leader? Andrew Lee has yet to put in a solid time here with these tires. This is his 3rd lap on these softs. DRS is activated, and down the front stretch he goes into the pits. So Andrew's going to have one opportunity here at the end of this session to set a fast lap. It's going to all ride on this as we now look to Albert Ramirez Garcia, who is, of course, up in the running in our championship points battle. As he comes down the front straightaway, and what is Albert going to be able to do? He is going to cross the line, and he is going to jump to the top. A 137.9, our first driver in the 137s. That means the track is really coming into its own here. Taking a look at some of the YouTube comments. Aaron, yes, Brett has some family birthday celebrations to attend to. So he is unfortunately unable to contest Baku today. It is my understanding that Brett does quite enjoy this track, so a bit unfortunate for Brett, but you know, there'll be plenty of other opportunities. I know he got to race it on Friday or Saturday, depending on where you are in the world, in the Formula 2 or the F2 race. Who just crossed the line? I believe that was... No, I don't think anybody did. I'm just, you know, imagining things. Ken Doyle coming down the front straight. What can he do? He dives into the pits. And then also, Does anyone in no assist tier 1 use a pad, or is everyone on a wheel? So I do know that most of the drivers, some of them I don't know. I believe Harry uses a wheel, as does Josh, Zach. Not sure on Andrew. Mackenzie uses a wheel. I believe Ken does as well. Ethan does. Daniel, I'm not 100% sure on. I know Michael Garone Jr., Top Gun, he uses a pad for sure, and Andrew Lee is on a wheel as well. So I guess I know most of them, but I not 100% sure on all of them. But there are definitely a couple pads up in here in Tier 1. As we see everybody starting to pour out of the garage now to go out and get their final hot laps in here. And looks like the first driver out there is going to be Mackenzie. So we are going to follow along with him. He might have some traffic to contend with here. Now, Baku's usually pretty good. There's lots of good spots for cars to get out of the way, and traffic shouldn't cause him much of a problem. But, I mean, traffic might help him, too, if he gets a nice tow down the final straightaway, as there's a yellow flag in Sector 1. That was just for some rearranging of positions. So we see Izat retires from the session. I guess not willing to set a time here. But yeah, let's see what Mackenzie can do. Yellow flag in Sector 2 and 3. This is just drivers looking to build out a gap, I believe. There's a slow Haas there, but it looks like they're back to green. Yeah, they're just building out a gap. As we see here, Mackenzie, what can he do? He's about to conclude Sector 2 here momentarily and get ready for the very high-speed Sector 3, which is basically one corner and a long straightaway. He is half a second up on his previous best, so he's looking to hop into the 138s. Of course, that is still a long ways off from where our pole sitter, Kush Thor, Albert Ramirez Garcia, is a 137.9, a very, very nice lap time for him. Mackenzie coming down the long straightaway here, and where is he going to land? He is going to cross the line and jump to P3, a 138.7. We have a Mercedes about to cross the line, but that's Ken on an outlap. We have an Alpha Tauri about to cross the line on an outlap, and then Andrew Lee, I believe, is right behind him. Andrew's going to cross the line, and he is going to jump to P2, a 137.9. Nice run there for Andrew Lee. The next driver that's going to cross the line is going to be a Haas. It is going to be Daniel Hernandez, LD Joker here. He is currently 2.5 seconds up on his previous best time, so he is well on his way to improving here. Of course, currently sitting at that 140.01, so he is looking to hop into the 138s. He is going to send it down the front stretch, and what's he going to be able to do? He's going to cross the line, and he's going to jump up to P3. A nice run there for Daniel Hernandez as Josh Banks jumps to the top, a 137.6. A nice run for him. Honda jumps to P4, 137.9. Who else do we got? Is that a McLaren coming across? Is that Faith? I believe it is. Faith is going to cross the line. He is not going to improve. There's a Mercedes about to come across. That has to be Harry. Harry jumps to P5, a 138.1. Who else do we got here? There's another Ferrari. Who's still on flying lap? Albert is still out on a flying lap. Michael Garone Jr. also hopped up to P8, a 138.3. We just hanging with, I believe, the last driver on a flying lap here. is Albert Ramirez Garcia. Can he get Josh Banks here on the final lap? He's going through Sector 2. Is he going to get held up perhaps by this Red Bull, or is the Red Bull going to help him? He is currently 3/10 up. This is going to be close, ladies and gentlemen. Holy moly. Down the long front straight. This is really going to help to have this tow now from that Red Bull. Going to try and take full advantage of that for Albert Ramirez Garcia as he makes his way through a gaggle of cars that are going slowly. He is going to cross the line and go to the top, a 137.536, and that is going to be, unless if Mackenzie, who is coming into the pits, so that is going to be qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Your pole sitter today, Albert Ramirez Garcia in the Ferrari. A very, very nice showing for him as he will start on pole. P2 going to be Josh Banks, and rounding out the top 3 is Mr. Andrew Lee, of course, our championship points leader in the Williams. We'll go through, of course, the full qualifying results in a moment. Uh-oh, as Harry has left the session. Hopefully he's going to be able to get his way back in here. We don't want him to be kept out, so I'll keep an eye on Discord, make sure that that if he needs an invite, he's got one. But regardless, your pole sitter is Albert Ramirez Garcia. Of course, we are expecting some rain towards the end of this session as Harry gets back in. Which is good to see, of course, as the drivers are choosing their preferred race strategy. Now, it's an interesting one here because, of course, when you're outside the top 10, it's probably going to be a one-stop or a planned one-stop for those drivers. Probably media. You could do hards to softs. That's certainly an option, but you do tend to. I guess the hards aren't that bad around here. Another option is, of course, mediums to hards. You kind of get. You don't really have to worry about crossing into the bad zones of either of those tires when they start to fall off, because you'll have some additional laps and some flexibility with when you come into the pits, of course. But I really am a believer here in the two-stop. A two-stop. That was my plan going into my race earlier, starting on the softs, going to the mediums, and then having another soft stint in there. I do believe that that's better than going just softs to hards, but we'll see what these drivers opt to do here today. Of course, safety cars, I'm sure, are going to play a part in things, as we do see every driver outside of the top 10 starting on the medium compound tires. So that would tend to lean towards probably they're either going to go mediums to hards, or they're going to go do a two-stop, as we see Daniel Hernandez will start with cold tires from the front of the grid here. But let's go through our DXT Esports starting grid here today. Starting on pole in the Ferrari, Albert Ramirez Garcia. Alongside him on the front row will be Josh Banks in the McLaren. Starting on P2, perhaps a little bit of a different spot to see Andrew Lee starting from, but he is going to start on row 2 in P3. Alongside him will be the Red Bull of Andrew Honda, starting P4. On row 3, we're going to have Harry Lillis in the Mercedes and Daniel Hernandez, LD Joker, starting alongside him in P6. On the 4th row of the grid, that is Zach Hockmeyer in the Renault Dilligaff, and the fellow U.S. Regionals driver. These guys duke it out all the time in U.S. Regionals. Is Michael Garone Jr. Top Gun. So that should be a fun battle to watch as this race gets underway. Steen starts on row 5 in P9. Alongside him is Mackenzie Stewart rounding out the top 10. Ken Doyle starts on row 6 in the Mercedes. Alongside him, Ethan Lossing in the Ferrari. And finally, on the final row of the grid, we have Faith Caracca in the Renault and Izzat in the Alfa Romeo. 14 drivers to be contesting today's race here in Azerbaijan. We'll see at what point the rain comes into play here. And hopefully we get some good hard racing here this afternoon. Well, this afternoon for me. This in the morning, for example, for Brett, or for our European viewers, it would be Saturday night for you. So as the drivers are all lining up here, let's see. Can't really get a great camera view. Oh, that's an interesting view. So we're just waiting for the lights to start building up. Hopefully this isn't a glitch. That would not be, certainly would not be ideal for these guys, as they are just sitting on the grid forever now. That's an interesting view of Daniel Hernandez's car. It's just a building. Could that be the problem that we're experiencing? I believe it might be. So the grid seems we are just in a holding pattern here. This is certainly not ideal. Let's see what we're gonna do here. As in the words of Lando Norris, it's broken. It's broken. Who broke it? I love Lando. Seems like a very fun guy to be around. As let's check on the Discord here. And I believe we're going to be remaking the lobby. So I do believe that we're probably going to be remaking this lobby. Gonna wait for confirmation on that. Oh. Hello.